Hi everybody, I hope you're well. So we're experiencing some really weird times at the moment, and we want to make sure that we're keeping ourselves as healthy as possible. So that's from a physical perspective, meaning, we're making sure we wash our hands and making sure we follow all the government kind of guidelines and the World Health Organization guidelines, keeping our immune system strong, eating healthily. But also, what I think is really important at the moment, we look after ourselves from a mental health perspective. There is so much fear and anxiety around at the moment, and I think that's a lot fueled by social media, fueled by kind of people panicking and maybe reading things that aren't necessarily 100% true. And I think taking care of ourselves from a mental health perspective at the moment is really important. So I'm going to be posting some videos to allow you to practice yoga at home if you can't get to a studio, or maybe just to practice it a little bit more often than you normally do at the moment. It's amazing what kind of 15-20 minutes a day can really do to help calm the body, have a big impact in how you feel. So we're going to start this practice just by lying down onto the mat. So take a couple of minutes to get comfortable. You can shuffle the shoulder blades under, bring the feet wide, let the feet fall out to the side. And then just bring the hands to the side of the body, just with the palms facing up, or you can have the palms facing down, whichever's more comfortable. I'm going to close the eyes, or if that's not okay for you, you can just soften the gaze. I'm going to start by taking 3 big deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So just inhaling, deep inhale in through the nose, and then a long exhale out through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose, and then a long exhale out through the mouth. And then one more time. And then we're going to bring one hand onto the belly and one hand onto the heart center. So we're kind of not actually on the heart, but on the chest, in the middle of the chest. And we're just going to breathe into the space underneath the hands. So you can breathe out and in through the nose now. And as you inhale, you'll feel the chest and the belly rising. And as you exhale, feel them falling. We want to try to slow the breath down, take longer, deeper breaths. And just notice how your breath is, whether you're breathing it into your chest, whether your breath is short or long, how shallow or deep your breath is, just noticing it. You're not judging it, just noticing. And just trying to deepen the breath. So our breath is so important from a physical perspective, in the fact that it gives us energy for our practice, and it shows us when we're going too far. If we can't breathe or our breath gets really short, then we're going too far and need to back off a little bit. But it's also really important from calming the body and calming the mind. So we can use it to help access the rest and digest part of the central nervous system. And that'll calm the body down and also calm the mind. If the mind's busy, we can use the breath to focus onto the breath. Try not to get too caught up in our thoughts. We're just slowly deepening the breath. We're trying to get where we inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 4. I'll just count you through a few breaths now. So I'm going to inhale 2, 3, 4, and exhale 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. So just breathing by yourself for a couple of breaths. Just noticing how that's making you feel more physical and how it's calming the mind. And we're going to hug one knee into the chest and then the other knee in. Just hugging the knees into the chest and then bringing the hands onto the knees. I'm going to push the knees forward and then bring them out to the side, moving the hips in circles. And just loosening at the hips, moving forwards, out to the side, and then back together again. Just a couple of circles this way. And then we're going to change the direction. So pulling the knees in towards you, out to the side, and then together. And towards you, out to the side, and then together. Just slow, mindful movements. Just loosening out the hips, getting some movement into the body. And then we're going to bring the right leg up towards the ceiling. You're going to flex the foot, pushing the leg out forwards and resisting that with your hands. And then just moving the feet in circles at the ankle one way and then the other way. And then pointing and flexing the foot. I'm going to bring the right ankle onto the left knee. Then feeding through, taking hold of the left thigh. You can feel the stretch in the back of the right leg and glutes. If you want a bit more stretch, you can take hold of the shin. So you want to flexing both feet, and if you've got the thigh, you're just going to have the foot up as if you're kind of pushing it against a wall. Feeling that nice stretch. If you've got sciatica, this is a fantastic exercise for that. And then we're going to bring the foot down and then bring the left leg up towards the ceiling. So again, pushing the leg away, resisting that with the hands, feeling the muscles in the legs waking up, and then rotating the foot at the ankle one way and then the other way, and then pointing and flexing the foot. Okay. And we're going to bring the right ankle onto the left knee, feeding through, taking hold of the right thigh or the right shin if you want a bit of a better stretch, bigger stretch. We don't want to stretch too much, so we don't want to really pull the leg in. We don't want to injure ourselves or cause any pain. So over time, we'll be able to increase the stretch. We just want to practice for our bodies where they are now, not where we think we should be each day, but where we are. And then taking the feet down to the ground and hugging the knees in, just taking the backs of the knees. And we're going to rock forwards and backwards over the spine a few times. Nice movement across the spine, and then come to sit in a comfortable seat. So you can either sit cross-legged or sit kneeling if that's more comfortable for you. I'm just going to feel the spine lengthening, so just closing the eyes, just feeling the sit bones onto the mat, maybe pulling away the fleshy bits. You can really feel the sit bones grounding down onto the mat. And then feeling the spine lengthen, the crown of the head's coming up towards the ceiling. So as you inhale, you want that alert spine, the crown of the head reaching up. And as you exhale, just trying to find softness, maybe in the shoulders, the face. Inhale to find length, and then exhale, softening. And we're going to bring the left hand out towards the side, and then bringing the right ear down towards the shoulder. And it's the left hand over the ear. Just feel the gentle stretch in the neck. We're not forcing the neck down. If you want a bit more of a stretch, you can just reach the fingertips out to the side. and then coming back down. Again, stretching out the right hand, the left ear down to the shoulder. Feeling that stretch. And then coming back to centre. Now we're just going to walk the left hand out to the side. With the right hand, going to reach up. Take an inhale to lengthen the side of the body, and then an exhale to reach over. Feeling that stretch in the left side of the body, right side of the body, sorry. And keeping the right sit bone grounded down. I'm going to come back up. Same on the left side, lengthening up. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhaling to fold down. Lovely. And then coming up. We're going to bring the right hand onto the left knee. You're going to bring the left hand behind you, so you can cut the fingers. So we just want to lengthen the spine. So inhaling as we lengthen and exhaling to twist around. Just a gentle twist, feeling that twist all the way from the base of the spine all the way up to the neck. And then slowly coming back to centre. And then taking the left hand onto the right knee, the right hand behind you. So inhaling to lengthen and then exhaling to twist around. So again, not forcing it, just gently twisting. And then as you come back to centre, we're going to engage the belly and come all the way back to centre. Lovely. So now we're going to come over onto all fours. So when we're on all fours, we really want some of the weight to come into the knuckles, especially the forefinger, making sure the forefinger knuckle and the forefinger are flat onto the mat, so you don't want to put any pressure on the wrists. And the knees are hip distance apart. So as we inhale, we're going to dip the belly, open the chest and look up. As we exhale, tucking the pelvis and pushing the mat away. So inhaling, dipping the belly, open the chest and look up. And then exhaling, tucking the pelvis, pushing the mat away. Just keeping going to the rhythm of your own breath. Inhaling, dipping the belly, looking up. Exhaling, think like kind of angry cat, pushing the mat away, pushing up. That's it. It's a great movement for your spine. That was lovely. That's it. And then, so on your next inhale, just going to come back to a neutral tabletop. I'm going to bring the toes together and bring in the knees as wide as the mat. I'm going to bring the sit bones back on towards the heels. And then reaching the hands out, you can bring the forehead down towards the mat. So the sit bones might not come right onto the heels, but just reaching them towards the heels, you can feel that stretch in the back. And then stretching the hands forward, but bringing the shoulder blades down towards the back. So the shoulder blades are kind of coming back down towards the sit bones. Just directing the breath into the ribs. You can feel the ribs expanding on the inhale and then contracting on the exhale. Expanding on the inhale and contracting on the exhale. And I'm going to bring the fingertips onto the mat, so kind of bring the hands, cupcake the hands. I'm going to walk the hands out towards the left side. So stretching out the right hand and feeling the right sit bone coming back towards the heel. You can feel that stretch in the side of the body. And then coming back to centre. I'm going to come over to the other side. So stretching out the left arm, feeling the left sit bone coming back down to the heel. You can feel the stretch in the side of the body. Keeping the breath moving. Slow, deep breaths. And then we're going to come back to centre. And coming up into all fours. So where your hands are now, I'm just going to bring the elbows down onto the mat. So where the elbows come down. And then shuffling the knees back a little bit. we're going to bring the forehead down towards the mat. So this is puppy pose. So your heart is kind of opening out onto the mat. You're just engaging the belly so that you're not completely dipping down into the lower back. So keep the belly engaged. You can bring the forehead down onto the mat and feeling the heart kind of surrendering down onto the mat. Keeping that breath moving. And then we're going to come up, engaging the belly, coming up to all fours. And then it's bringing the right hand towards the centre of the mat and the left fingertips coming onto the right wrist. So we're going to bring the left fingertips up the arm, across the chest, and then opening the chest out towards the left side of the room. You can look up towards your hand or look forwards. And then we're going to exhale, bringing the left arm underneath the right arm. So inhaling, opening up the chest, looking up, and then exhaling, bringing the arm under. We're engaging the belly, pulling the belly in towards the spine. Inhale, opening up, looking up, and then exhaling, bringing the left arm under the right, and you can bring the shoulder down to the mat and the ear down to the mat. Now with your left hand, you're just going to push the hand into the back. So the back of the hand is down onto the mat with the palm facing up. And the whole arm is along the mat. You can just put a bit of weight onto that arm so you're kind of lifting up but putting too much pressure on the neck. With the right hand, you can bring the right hand round, either bring it onto the base of the spine or bring it round, take hold of the thigh, and opening out that right shoulder so you're in a bit of a twist. And then you're going to bring your right hand down front of the face, engage the belly, pushing up to all fours. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So bringing the left hand now just towards the centre of the mat, just left of centre, and the right fingertips onto the left wrist. So inhale, we're going to open up the right hand, open up the chest towards the right side of the room. The right hand comes up, and then exhaling, feeding the right hand underneath the left. I'm going to inhale, lifting the arm up, opening the chest out to the right side of the room. Exhaling, feeding through. Engaging the belly, inhale, bringing the arm up, and then exhale, feeding through. This time bringing the shoulder and the ear onto the mat. And with the right hand, you can push the right hand into the mat, just bringing a little bit of weight onto it. And with the left hand, you can bring it to the base of the spine or taking hold of the right thigh. So if you've got any kind of issues with the neck, or the neck is feeling a bit uncomfortable, you can just lengthen the side of the head, that's it, and put a bit more pressure onto the right hand. And then we're going to bring the left hand down, coming up onto all fours. I'm going to bring the knees forward now, and then bring the knees out to the side. I'm going to come to sit down onto the mat with the feet out straight in front. So I'm going to have the legs engaged, so the thighs are engaged, the calves are engaged, and the feet are flexed. So the toes are coming up towards the forehead. You're just going to bring your hands by your side, and then we're lengthening between the pubic bone and the collarbone, and feeling that spine, long spine. The spine's not straight, it's got natural curves in it. The spine is long, softening the shoulders, slightly tuck the chin. You've got a long spine. The spine goes all the way up to the top of the neck. And as we inhale, we're going to reach the arms up above the head, Keeping the spine long, coming forward from the hips. I'm going to fold forward. Now you can take hold of the shin, the ankles. If you get to the feet, you can take hold of the feet. We want to avoid is kind of hunching the shoulders and really stretching out the back. So if you need to come back for the spine to be long, come back. And we check the chest is opening out towards the toes and the belly's coming down towards the thighs. If you want, you can bend the knees, take hold of the feet, and then over time you can look to straighten the legs. So gazing towards the feet, and that gaze is to help kind of calm the mind and give us a fixed point to look at. And taking deep breaths. And then slowly coming back up. I'm going to bend the left leg and bring the leg out to the side. Now if your leg doesn't come onto the mat, you can maybe just bring a cushion underneath it so they can rest on it. And the right leg is flexed and the foot is pointing, the toes are pointing up towards the forehead. So we're just going to now bring the left hand to the other side of the right knee. The right hand behind you. I'm just going to twist, opening out the chest towards the right side of the room, just a gentle twist. And then coming back to centre. So with the body facing over the right leg, I'm going to inhale, reach the arms up, so lengthening the spine, and then exhaling, folding forward again. So either taking hold of the calf, the ankle, or maybe the foot, or again if you want to bend the knee and take hold of the foot, and over time you can look to lengthen. So we're keeping the spine long, opening out the chest towards the toes, and the gaze is on towards your toes. You should be able to feel a stretch in the hamstring, the back of the right thigh. If there's any stretch in the lower back, or you're overstretching the lower back, just come out a little bit. Keeping the breath flowing, trying to anchor the mind onto the breath. And then as you inhale, you're going to come up, and as you exhale, releasing the leg. Now. And then bringing the right leg up now, and letting the leg fall, and knee fall out to the side. And again, if you want to bring a cushion underneath that knee, you can do. And then just bringing the right hand to the other side of the left knee. The left hand behind you, and then inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, just twisting to the left side of the room, and then coming back to center. So then on the inhale, bringing the arms up above the head, and on the exhale, folding forwards. So wherever the hands get to is fine. You can bring the hands onto the mat if you want to. So again, we're not trying to overstretch. I'm trying to do, sometimes I can get a lot further than now. Sometimes I'm back here. It just depends on where your body is today. Gazing towards your toes. And then inhaling to come back to center. And releasing the leg. And then we're going to come down to lie down onto the mat again. So you can just hug the knees into the chest. And just come into a gentle twist. So just letting the knees fall out to the left hand side. Want to try and keep the right shoulder grounded onto the back. You can bring your arms out to shoulder height, and just take your gaze over to the right hand side. start to notice the effects of the practice on your body and your mind. And then we're going to come up to centre. And then you can lift the hips over to the left hand side if you want to. And then drop the knees over to the right hand side and take the gaze over to the left. And just taking deep breaths. And then coming up to centre. And just hugging the knees into the chest. And then bringing the nose up towards the knees, hugging yourself into a really tight ball. And then you can release. Coming to lie down, bringing the feet wide, the arms out to the side with the palms facing up. And just start to notice the effects of the practice on your body and on your mind. And moving our body can be a great way to kind of relieve anxiety or fear. And the best thing for me about the yoga is how it kind of affects the body and the mind. The connection between the two is so important to me. I don't think you can really separate them. Taking care of both your body and your mind is so important at the moment. It can really help us to be able to cope with what life throws at us. And trying to stay grounded and comfortable in as who we are. And now just starting to deepen your breath. And maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes. You're very welcome to stay here for longer. I'd like to encourage you to do so. And otherwise I will be posting more videos like this.